guys, we're here with Mario, the CEO of Artisan Studios. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you for joining me. So I wanted to ask how you got into the video gaming space. You are a veteran after 20 years, you said, in the AAA gaming world. So what got you interested in Web3 gaming?
I think because when I started in Web 2 games, I was mostly making games as a service. So these are online games where people play and exchange virtual currencies. And we noticed that there was a big trend in all of our games where people were buying and selling items kind of illegally through third-party websites. And we had always talked about how could we actually give the players what they want and allow them to buy, sell, and trade the virtual items that they've earned after years of playing in our games and share IP ownership and things like that. And so that's what brought me into Web3 was I realized finally now we have the technology to kind of realize that dream for players.
Right. So tell me a little bit more about Artisan Studio and the vision behind it.
Sure. So Artisan Studio was founded by myself and my co-founder Julian Bourgeois in 2016. The vision of the studio was to bring back hand-drawn, hand-animated work. So we work with some of the top artists in Japan that worked on games such as Final Fantasy or Bravely Default, Nier Automata, to create original IPs. And now Artisan has moved into the Middle East to become one of the first studios to really embrace Middle Eastern culture and to create, there's a lot of history, art, poetry, music from this region that's never been exported. That plus the explosion of Web3 really drew our attention to Dubai, so that's why we came here last year.
Tell me a little bit more about how maybe video games differ, or maybe the players in this region differ maybe from others. You said the Middle East culture.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I would say, most people here, unlike in the US or Europe, didn't grow up with console gaming. Most of them came a generation after with mobile games because obviously development in this part of the world wasn't the same as North America or Northern or Western Europe. So I would say most people have grown up with what we call free-to-play games. So games like Candy Crush, PUBG, online games that you play on the phone. So now as the region matures, and as you can see, Dubai is quite an expensive and nice place. People are playing on PS5, so games like FIFA, Call of Duty are starting to take center stage. And that's when we decided we wanted to be one of the first to enter the market here. Right.
Okay, and what titles are you working on, or can you give us a little preview of something you're working on?
Sure, we have an unannounced game that's being developed for PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC. We're working with some very famous developers in Japan, and that game is going to be announced this year. We plan to do it at an event here later in Dubai, later in the year, and then we'll also be able to sort of announce some of the integration that we've done with some of the teams working in Web3. The goal of Artisan, I think, with some of the new projects we're doing, is to really bring the knowledge of game design that's existed for the last 30 years in the Web 2 industry and really introduce that into Web 3.
Okay, and you said that you're going to introduce that in one of these events with Crypto Oasis.
Crypto Oasis will be involved, but I think they want us to do it at, there's the blockchain summit and things like that are coming up, so I think they want us to do it at a bigger event, yeah.
And how did that friendship with Crypto Oasis guys come about?
Oh yeah, it was really coincidental. I moved to Dubai, I didn't know anybody, right? I had one friend who lived here who had moved before me. He's also in game development, a guy named Damien Hervois. He had moved from Tokyo and he introduced me to them. And when we told them what our vision was for kind of expanding game development into the Web3 ecosystem, then they introduced us to a lot of the other companies, and they asked us to join as a founding member of their Crypto Oasis Gaming Guild. So that's a new guild that they formed last year.
Got it. And so you must be a gamer yourself, I think. Yes? What do you play?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, last week the Legend of Zelda released, the new one, Tears of the Kingdom. I played that game since I was basically 8 years old. It was, what I've heard, it's something like $700 million in 3 days they've done in revenue on the game, and it's something like, over 10 million copies sold, so I think it's going to break records for Nintendo, and so that's what I'm playing, a lot of that right now, and I have some older classic games I go to, so my family likes to play the Tales of series, which is a Japanese story-based RPG, Tales of Arise, Tales of Berseria, and then the big one that I play kind of quietly in my spare time, I guess, is Civilization. I play that on my PC.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Civilization is like, you can control any of the famous civilizations through time. So you start in the Stone Age as like, I'm Cleopatra, and then I have to build the Egyptian civilization all the way into the modern day, right? It's a classic. Really, we're on episode, I think it's Civilization 6 out now, and they're working on 7. So that'll be released in probably another few years.
Okay, I'm going to check that out. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mario.
Thank you. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Likewise.
See you later.